So they go to all that close.
622-4911.
Answer the call. This is a call to all the believers, all the natural born leaders, yeah. This call is for you. If you believe this place is a real place and you believe it have things to believe in still, then it's you that I'm talking to. You're fed up on the rules and the buying and the shooting and the killing and the states and the crime and the bloody corruption all the time. Oh Lord, what a crucial. Don't give up, don't give in, don't give up. That he's sitting down just dreaming, big dreams, but they ain't doing nothing then. Expect your dreams to come, okay? I know you're gonna money hate and the fight, young Lord, the bad and the bully, the fight. Too much frustration, too much pain. Now you're afraid to dream again. Jamming and you can't get through, and you feel this place has nothing for you. Don't give up, don't stop believing. Dreamers got to keep on dreaming. Answer the call. So making me call. Got some man stand with you, Jah no divided we fall. As the missing generation hunts us all. Corruption permeates in our greatest hall. Don't let your gesturing receive the call. And pass the message on to one and all. A revival revolution, Trinbago stand tall. Answer the call. Young leaders, answer the call. Big dreamers, answer the call. Fast and best and fall. Answer the call. Answer the call. Young leaders, answer the call. Answer the call.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy,
From
oh
your
boy.
TV
Good
to
morning,
your
Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. Yes, for those of you that are online live, time check. Yes, it's 17 minutes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Of course.
Hey, Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well, my friend. Well, first and foremost, all the best for the new year 2026, 1 and 2. How was it in general? Before, of course, I must, as we normally would say, we will dance at home or a yard before we dance abroad. And not that our audience could be considered persons that are foreign, but certainly it is appropriate with good etiquette. So, how was yours? How was your holidays? A very extended one. I understand this year there'll be some eight protracted holidays, meaning that because it would have come on maybe the Friday, you have the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and etc., etc., etc. So, but that being as it may, how was yours? Andy?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm here, Lennox
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah. So I thought when you went to space or something, because I see you went silent. I don't know if you're trying to keep some secret and I exposed it.
Nah.
How was your holiday?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me say a pleasant good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. It's about 19 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And you're listening to the Ground Report on 91.1 FM Talk City. And on Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT YouTube. Corridor Transformation. Not forgetting 648 TV. From next week, Monday, please God, while we put things in place, you'll also be live on TV4.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K.
Nice. I must say a pleasant good morning to all maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. It have been long. And as for those of you that are picking up on 91.1 Talk City, don't forget to spread the word. For those of you that are online, don't forget to let each and everyone know that cannot pick us up on the social media platforms or was not picking up on us on the social media platforms. Let them know they can be in the comfort of their vehicles now without having to go on YouTube or on Facebook. That they just have to switch that dial to Talk City 91.1. That what we talking about. For those of you that are looking on Talk City 91.1, are you hearing us loud and clear? For those of you on social media, are you hearing us loud and clear?
Bang, 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 bang.
Nice, nice. Lennox Smith, what you have in the headliners for us? Let me say a pleasant good morning to Nigel Snipes. A pleasant good morning to you, director. You just give us the cue. When is the break? When is ad libs? Let me hear you, partner. I'm gonna make sure I'm hearing you loud and clear. Lennox Smith, you hear me right?
Yes, loud and clear, my friend. And he was asking you if you are hearing him loud.
Oh,
And
go
you
ahead.
have not yet responded, just as to my question earlier.
Right. So we'll just have to raise the your. Oh, I can do that on my side.
Are you hearing me loud and clear now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Nice.
I'm hearing you. So I might just have to raise the volume. Your intake.
People, of course, don't be too perturbed. This is, of course, tweaking time. It's the first day in this new environment. We are at, of course, 91.1 Talk City. And, of course, we are on television as well.
No, from Monday. Television will be from Monday coming.
Next Monday?
Yeah, Monday
is it?
coming.
Okay, okay. Well, it is not preemptive at all. I think you better be forewarned rather than. So, of course, so take it as a forewarning that we will be on television as well from next
Lennox
Monday.
audio is low. So I will have
My
to.
audio?
Yeah. So on that side, I'll have to raise your audio on.
Okay, I'm turning him up.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Better now?
This talk is social media is who now tell me that. So say go ahead, you go ahead now. Let me hear.
Yes, indeed. So I was just making the point that we now on television as well, but of course not today, next week, Monday. And this is a new environment, so therefore we are going to have some initial glitches, but we are going to iron them out as these ruffles come from time to time. But that is, of course, is expected with the technology that we have at our disposal. And, of course, it is normal for adjustments to be made in human circumstance. And this is no exception. So, people, if you are getting little glitches here and there, well, just chalk it up to that fact that we have just moved, and today is just the first day, the inaugural day, the commencement date, the initial program of the ground report on of course 91.1 Talk City, and of course on next week we will be on television as well, simulcasting or simultaneously. That being as it may, you asked you a question earlier on about your own fears or your
volume very low. If you could raise Lennox mic again, or or they may be able to raise it in.
He's very loud on my end.
Very loud on your end.
Very loud. And I'm speaking loudly as well.
All right.
Into the mic.
Oh boy. Yeah, we all hearing him there online, right? But very low. Still hearing him.
All right. Well, as I said, we are in the process of tweaking, so bear with us if there are some deficiencies that is expected, as I say, both in terms of technology and of course, individual. Is a human situation. That being as it may, of course, I asked the question earlier. I suppose you'd have gotten it in silence, even though I was very reverberating on this side, very loud on this side. But I asked how you spent your days, the holidays. Very long time. We have not. We didn't have a chance to meet physically, but of course we have been, of course, talking about the excitement associated with the new dispensation that the ground report would have been subjected to, and of course today is a manifestation thereof. But of course that being as it may, as one human being to another, we normally would ask of each other, well, what transpired, how you pass the days so far, as far as the holidays is concerned. Andy. it appears that he probably didn't hear again. All right, that being as it may, I'm sure that you out there are listening well tuned in. Well, what are some of the headlines today? Well, of course, I think the one that is making the news, and don't vex with me, I'm a eternal, or should I say, fanatical patriot, and therefore, of course, all that what is happening, of course, geopolitically in the hemisphere, out of the hemisphere, and beyond. Well, of course, we on the ground report, and I speak when say that we are ultra patriot. I think the term is called jingoism, where you are ultimate patriot, and we believe that all what is happening should have some benefit, or what we can take away as far as benefits to Trinidad and Tobago. After all, we in this space, 1.5 million people, clearly would always want to make certain that we get the best for ourselves. And so the geopolitical circumstance, of course, you would have known that on the 3rd, which would have been, two days ago, well, of course, in the wee hours of the morning, the United States struck on Venezuela, and of course, the result of that is the capture, or some prefer to say, being very diplomatic, the arrest of Maduro and his wife. They are now, of course, in the United States, and today at around noon, their time in New York, they will be arraigned, meaning that they will be taken to court and then answer, I think, about 4 charges of each of which has some kind of multiple areas to be considered as far as the law enforcement authorities there is concerned. But so that is the major thing. But what the fallout of that for Trinidad and Tobago? What is the benefit of that in Trinidad and Tobago? Well, I hate to say, as I normally would, but of course, in a sense of extreme gratification, frankly, that we told you so. And wise, of course, we were talking, the fight against drugs, the blowing up of boat vessels and so on. We did say on the ground report that it would be a waste of resources, let me put it that way, and time, if the Americans would have moved out of the region without making certain that Maduro no longer is at the helm of Venezuela's affairs, and for obvious reasons. And the reasons have been so obvious, where we express our deep concern that the persons who ought to have known better, meaning that leaders, former leaders, whether CARICOM or otherwise, could not have seen that and understand that Maduro is the genesis, the cause of the problems of the region or of the hemisphere as far as destabilization is concerned. And we said that in no uncertain terms. And therefore, it will be surprising if the Americans simply did that drug initiative, so to speak, anti-drug initiative, anti-drug gang initiative, and simply left. So we said that while, of course, it is not diplomatic for not even the leadership of Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, to go beyond what is being told or what is being said, the narrative that's being said coming out of Washington. We as individuals who have, of course, a common sense and a sense of understanding of what is at stake, it will be difficult for any one of us to comprehend that the United States will simply do that and leave the region. Well, of course, 2 days ago, the reality has struck. Of course, again, the present government in Trinidad and Tobago has made it very, very clear that they were not part and parcel of that exercise, even though, of course, prior to that incident, the administration has said through the Prime Minister and other spokespersons that there that they support the effort of the Americans from the perspective of getting rid of the drugs and the guns, and therefore assisting us vicariously to address our own domestic issue as far as crime, criminality, gang warfare, people trafficking, and of course drugs and the cartels that may from time to time, if not directly in Trinidad, but traverse our let's say waters in order to ship their cargo, their illicit cargo, or their poisonous cargo, or their pernicious cargo to the north, whether it's bound for Europe or for North America. So we have been realistic, and it is important that we understand that whilst the officialdom would take a particular official position, we who have a responsibility in social media, of course, and the fourth estate of Trinidad and in Trinidad and Tobago, we must be, of course, pragmatic and realistic. And therefore, of course, what transpired 2 days ago in Venezuela, the attack, the strike, and of course, the eventual, of course, extracting of Maduro and his wife, and then, of course, depositing them in the United States for to answer these 4 charges is no surprise to us, but it ought not to be to you. But I think another development had taken place during the course of the discussion, quite apart from the intent of the United States, and that was whether or not the allies, the friends of Venezuela, the friends of the Maduro administration, will come to his rescue. And therefore, they were concerned, particularly and very vociferously, the opposition, led by, of course, Penelope Beckles, gave the impression that somehow there will be a war started here in Trinidad, and Trinidad will be, of course, part and parcel of the fallout, meaning that missiles will come our way, etc., etc. And then we were at pains, as you would recall, I did a demonstration to show that Trinidad and Tobago, as far as Caracas is concerned, because, I mean, if you are attacking a country, you want to make certain that the capital falls, and when the capital falls, it means, therefore, that your mission would have been a success. And we had shown on, very graphically, we did some animations and so on to show where Trinidad and Tobago would have been located something like 600 miles away from Caracas, and taking a straight line, varying west of us to Caracas, using a straight line. Of course, that is not realistic, in that you'll have to either take plane. Well, of course, you can have a straight line there, and then, of course, you can use the waters, which means you'll have to twist and turn before you reach Marcus. But whichever way it is, the fact is about 600. Whereas the Armada that would have been assembled just outside of the borders, or should I say the sea borders, I should say, the maritime borders of Venezuela, was just about 100 miles. And therefore, it would have been impractical to launch an invasion, if you want to call it that, or a strike of that nature from there. And we have seen, of course, that too has materialized. And there was another dimension to this argument leading up to what transpired there, and that is to say, the military assets, both technological and otherwise, personnel, that would have been deployed, or should I put another way, that the Maduro administration would have access or gave approval to be part and parcel of the response, just in case the Americans attack of Venezuela. And therefore, people were talking about hypersonic missiles, and they give some names that I myself cannot pronounce. I suppose that is because I'm not Russian. But that being as it may, all of those issues were brought to the fore as well. and hairy-fairy, illusionary dispositions that really and truly has no place in such serious activities. You're talking about the loss of lives. We are talking about invasion, yes. And I must say as well that those who saw the Caribbean as a zone of what? Of peace. I wonder if they are now rethinking their position. And they ought to, because we now have the Caribbean being a zone of peace, having regard to the fact, as we have said on this program, that it was Maduro who was the genesis, who was the author of all of the issues and the developments and the various activities, whether it be on the question of the deployment of military assets, or whether it be the destabilization of the region, all of that. We said in no uncertain terms it was Maduro. If he had at least lived up to the democratization or the reverting to democratization of Venezuela in terms of his commitment by way of promise to Biden, a previous administration and president, as far as free and fair and free from fear elections is concerned, and the non-persecution of his own people. And we said that from the perspective that what would you account, who could give any rational explanation as to satisfy themselves as to the legitimacy of Maduro and his cronies or his administration, when over 8 million of the citizens of Venezuela, a country that has something of about 27 million people, about 8 million left that country. What greater instability such a mass, sudden movement of people could cause to this part of the world? And I'm talking here about South America or Latin America, if one has to be more specific, and that of the Caribbean. How come leaders couldn't see that? And now that that incident has taken place, let's give you another prediction. You're going to see a reverse migration back into Venezuela as things pans out and as the Trump administration's policies and programs are effected for and within and in that country. That is what is going to happen. And I think by now, because we have an election that is to be executed on the 12th of this month, not too long from now, where that in Tobago, the presence of that radar, for example, created a stir, a political talking point that has now been muted. I see that persons who were very vociferous prior to the ultimate incident, which of course is the capture of and the depositing of Maduro and his wife in the United States. What are they saying now? You notice they have gone silent, looking to get, of course, some kind of political mileage from other diversionary issues, but attempting to make us believe that they never said what they said. The level of panic that they would have created among the population of Trinidad and Tobago at one point in time. That the elections campaign for those who oppose the Fali administration, or put more specifically, the TPP, the Tobago People's Party, is saying that is on that basis that they are campaigning to remove the radar. Well, I wonder what's going to happen now. Well, I had made a joke. It was intended to be a joke, but of course, you can glean from it the seriousness and the nature of the issue involved. And that is Fali and the TPP would win the elections with 17 seats, even though there is only 15. That's to tell you how the victory will be for them. Because all of the opposition forces, particularly, of course, that of the PNM, have failed in the what I consider to be the genuineness, one, and the veracity of their statements opposing that deployment, whether it be the radar, and of course the statements made by the Prime Minister in the early days, asking for indirectly the Americans to assist us with our drugs, our gang, and our criminal problem. And we had said in no uncertain terms that Trinidad and Tobago, by international recognition, has been seen as the sixth most violent country in the world. We said that. We also have experienced over 500 murders in the recent, let's say, half decade, leading up to, of course, the 28th of April, 2025. And you have to be a betrayer. You have to be a perfidious individual, a betrayer of your country, to ignore that. And because you have a beef with the Prime Minister, the UNC, the coalition of interests, you will ignore that, hoping that the worst would occur. But you have this morning to face the reality that none of it has occurred, and that it was merely a figment of people's very pernicious and very, what I consider to be, loose and prolific imagination. That's what it has turned out to be. Andy, are you there? People, of course, we are getting a little
going good, Lennox Smith. You going by the time.
as I said earlier.
You go ahead by the time,
of
Lennox
course,
Smith.
that is par for the course. That is understandable. But, of course, I am here. And I want to say at this point in time, all the best to all of the callers, all of the well-wishers, all of Trinidad and Tobago, all of the people in the Caribbean that are listening to us and at this point in time, and seeing me, of course, seeing us on social media. All the best for 2026. As far as Trinidad and Tobago is concerned, I think we are in a very, very optimistic place, having regard to what has happened in the latter moments of 2025. And, of course, in the early days of 2026 days. So we have to understand now that there are people, probably, if we want to use a biblical reference, babes and sucklings, in other words, little children may be more acute in terms of their understanding and vision. And of course, wisely you would see children as incapable of those kinds of far-reaching, visionary concepts, ideas, utterances. The fact of the matter is that if you are to parallel what the ground report has been saying, you can say that, yes, we may appear to be insignificant, but the reality is that Trinidad and Tobago is now a better place and moving forward simply because we predicted all of this. As far as those who were anti, those who were on the bandwagon of the zone of peace, I noticed that now that the Caribbean is now a zone of peace in real terms, they have gone definitely silent. It's an oxymoron, but I think it is very appropriate for the discussion as we move forward. So, what we said that Trinidad and Tobago will be in a better place if Maduro would have gone. And if, of course, the opposition in Venezuela, even though they have should I say, fragments of the Maduro administration have been made to remain in place. But whichever way, the fact is that Trinidad and Tobago is in a good place because the government of Trinidad and Tobago supported the right principles. They took action that was in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago. Whilst, of course, there were those who, for mischief reasons, maybe as some persons would have said, that a person who is doing wrong and believe they're doing right is extremely dangerous. And therefore, we had quite a lot of persons who were talking wrong talk, who were giving bad advice, possibly genuine, believing what they were talking was in fact so. But at the end of the day, they have been proven to be wrong, and because of the influence they would have wielded at that point in time, at that point of expression, at that point of the intersection of the various utterances that would have been contrary and averse to that of the present administration, the Prime Minister, and the government officials of Trinidad and Tobago in contemporary Trinidad and Tobago, and in the existential circumstance that we would have found ourselves, all of them have gone silent. All of them have gone silent. So we are confident that the dragon gas, let me make a prediction now, dragon gas and the other cross-border initiatives as far as treating with the energy sector of Trinidad and Tobago is concerned will now come into fruition and to benefit Trinidad and Tobago. It is obvious. And let me say that from the perspective that the Trump administration will not see Trinidad and Tobago flounder when, of course, that situation exists. But more than that, the fact of the matter is that Europe is in a very dangerous state because of the cutting off of that lifeline of gas from Russia, consequential of the Ukraine-Russian activity. And so, because Trinidad and Tobago, whether advertently, whether by serendipity, whether by divine providence, God's intervention, we have the infrastructure to convert gas into something that is usable and that is required by Europe, the United States, and other parts of the world. And therefore, as the Trump administration...
But Lennox, yes.
Exhibit.
Lennox.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. I just heard you mention about I'm talking by the time. I just heard you mention. I just heard you mention Europe in trouble due to that gas or gas lifeline when it coming to Russia. But I also saw the honorable. Well, I wouldn't say right. I also saw President Donald Trump on Air Force One doing an interview mentioning that Colombia looking at Colombia, he also mentioned about Ukraine. He also mentioned about Ukraine and Russia. He also mentioned about Greenland and the importance of Greenland for when it coming to the safety of America. When it coming to the safety of America, he mentioned about all of those things. But go ahead by the time. Go ahead by because I just talking so that to check me out too. You real nice. You loud.
No problem. You're
You
testing
clear.
people because we as I say we are in the tweaking stage.
Yes.
We want to sort of smoothen out some of the ruffles that is obvious with such a venture, because remember it's technology, it's personnel, it's physical movement, etc. So number of things that has to be
But we also
addressed. And I see the technicians in studio here are very busy, attempting to, of course, give us the best.
So I also, but we also put in consideration that America mentioned that Caribbean leaders was technically involved. It have Caribbean leaders that are involved with Caribbean countries, even if they ain't put down as leaders. Caribbean countries are involved in that whole issue when it coming to that whole drug running, narcotics running thing.
The indictment. 4 of them, in essence. One, of course, export of narcotics to the United States, running of guns and so on, machine guns, etc. And there are 2 others that have slipped me, but I could always get that. Is not a problem. The thing about it is, yes, he did. The indictment itself implicates Caribbean leaders as well as Latin American leaders. And I wait with bated breath to witness, the different building blocks in specificity, what these indictments will bring to the fore, and it will, of course. If that is in fact so, we don't have the evidence, but of course, if it comes from the authorities there, then it has to be. But we cannot be let's say, prejudgmental or judgmental. But I want to say this, that if it is so, it means that we will understand why some of the Caribbean leaders have been bellowing and asking unrealistically for the Caribbean to remain a zone of peace, and never process, criticizing, condemning.
But let me ask you something, Lennox Smith. While they want to hear me talk there to do their tweeting on that side, well, we are seeing on social media. In social media, some news will be fake news, some news will be good news, some news will be fake news, some news will be good news or real news. But you're seeing whereby on social media they're putting up 1 or 2 Caribbean leaders as America will be interested in these particular people. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I would expect that. Social media will go a buzzing, but as I said, I can't wait for the actual exercise to take place and unveil in the various courts that would be addressing or adjudicating on these matters. Very, very interesting times. And again, it does not take away the fact that one has to, now that we know that, one has to say, well, some people were, of course, attempting to defend it turned out to be the indefensible, or people were looking to save their own skins by asking and vociferously insisting that the area remains a zone of peace in the face of all of the reasons one can bring that it is as a result of the conduct of Maduro and his administration that has created the instability and therefore the migration out of Venezuela, over 8 million of their citizens, that has created havoc and all kinds of economic, social, and other cultural pains that we have seen at least over the last 2 years across the board. So I I will be waiting very, very patiently. And a very good observation that the social media, as based on what you have asked, will be a buzz, would be speculating, etc. But as I say, we on the ground report, we like to verify, certify, and therefore the veracity of what we have to say could never be questioned. So we wait.
Okay, so gentlemen, we heading up to the news.
News.
At
Oh,
7.
okay, great. Yes. So people, we pause for the news, and when we come back, more.
Get ready to immerse yourself in the vibrant rhythms and the joyous spirit of sweet calypso. Join us for an unforgettable experience at the semi-final round of the Calypso Monarch competition. This is Calypso Fiesta. 40 Calypso stars will compete on the Skinner Park stage. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmonies. Mark your calendars. Saturday, February 7th, 2026. Join us at Skinner Park in San Fernando for an afternoon of pure Calypso magic. Showtime 2 p.m. Tickets available on islandetickets.com or call us at 623-9660. Don't miss out on a chance to experience the rhythm and joy of the Caribbean in 2026. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmony. This is Calypso Fiesta.
This is TDT News on the TDT Limited Media Network on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Good morning. This is your TTT News update. I'm Sherilyn Lewis making the news at this time. Prime Minister Kamal Bissau-Bissau said that there is no crisis in Trinidad and Tobago, addressing Saturday's military operation in Venezuela, which led to the capture of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Mrs. Bissau-Bissau assured the public that what happened in Venezuela has nothing to do with Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister stated that as Venezuela undergoes its transition, Trinidad and Tobago looks forward to deepening its long-standing friendship with the people of Venezuela and renewing cooperation. Mrs. Bissau-Bissau said she was asked about the U.S. indictment against Mr. Maduro and whether she was surprised that Caribbean politicians were implicated. There is no rift between the Ministry of Housing and the Housing Development Corporation. This clarification comes from Minister of Housing David Lee, speaking at a press conference on Sunday.
I just want to say we have full confidence in our chairman, Mr. Khanna's AGC, and the new board of members of this of AGC that took over 4 months ago to run and to give some leadership into HDC.
He says the board has a major task fixing 10 years of financial wastage and general mismanagement. Minister Lee also sought to clarify recent statements on regularization of homes. He says at no point did the chairman of HDC say he was moving to regularize quarters. He made quite clear that illegal occupiers will face the full brunt of the law.
That individuals who illegally occupy HDC homes will be removed if they occupy those homes by breaking into those homes and taking occupancy. That is a no-no for under this government. We will not allow that lawlessness.
Tobago's annual birth rate has reduced by nearly half, and so the Tobago People's Party plans to continue to roll out programs to promote childbirth on the island. Political leader Foley Augustine told party supporters on Thursday that included in the party's blueprint for 2026-2030 is the extension for their baby box initiative.
TPP will now be moving it from a one-off baby box to up to 6 months. Remember, I tell you, we have to put measures in place to make it easier for people to have children and to take care of them.
The TPP also plans to add another initiative aimed at boosting the island's birth rate through financial incentives.
We are going to give every child born to a Tobago resident, and he must be a resident in Tobago for at least 1 year before the child is birthed here. We are going to provide to those families $500 a month up until the child is 5 years old. Costs us about $13 million across the 5 years, just about 2 to 2.7 million per year. And remember, it may be less because it's as the child is birthed. Right now, the reality is our numbers are down to between 400 and 450 per year, down from over 900.
In August of 2025, a soft launch for the Baby Box initiative was held, which will see a year-round distribution of packages to mothers giving birth at the Scarborough General Hospital. And to sport, as condolences continue to pour in following the passing of Eddie Hart, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, David Nackett, lauds the pivotal role his league played in the development of young people. Nackett would have featured in the league for various clubs, including the likes of Santos in the 1980s.
On behalf of the East West Corridor Football League, on behalf of the UNC, our Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa, we extend condolences to the family of Mr. Eddie Hart, MP Eddie Hart, who has served the East West Corridor for over 4 decades. By having the Eddie Hart Football League, which was a major catalyst in the careers and lives of many young people throughout the East-West Corridor.
And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Sherilyn Lewis. Have a good morning.
That was TTT News on the TTT Limited Media Network on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Get ready to immerse yourself in the vibrant rhythms and enjoy a spirit of sweet calypso. Join us for an unforgettable experience at the semi-final round of the Calypso Monarch competition. This is Calypso Fiesta. 40 Calypso stars will compete on the Skinner Park stage. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmonies. Mark your calendars. Saturday, February 7th, 2026. Join us at Skinner Park in San Fernando for an afternoon of pure Calypso magic. Showtime 2 p.m. Tickets available on islandetickets.com or call us at 623-9660. Don't miss out on a chance to experience the rhythm and joy of the Caribbean in 2026. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmony. This is Calypso Fiesta.
Just some information for the peeps and the outside public servants. This Christmas, your back pay can do more for you at PCU. Make the smart move and secure up to 4% on fixed deposits with Police Credit Union. Or fixed deposits start as low as $2,500 for a short time as 3 months. Now is the perfect time, and this is the perfect gift to give yourself. It's the opportune time to invest in growth and build real financial peace of mind. Don't miss this opportunity. This is a limited time offer. Your future is safe with us. Visit any of our locations and get started today. Police Credit Union. Your future is safe with us. Back over to the ground report. And of course, goodly gentleman, Mr. Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Of course. So welcome back. Welcome back. And once again, of course, I cannot, it would be remiss of me, in fact, if I don't regurgitate the fact that all the best to all of you out there. I hope that you had an incident-free holiday. I wanted to say that in my case, of course, I had a very traumatic one at the turn of the new year, because on New Year's Day, a member of the executive of my party, Love, is considered to be the first statistic as far as murder is concerned. Yes, at the corner of George and Prince Streets, and I mean that threw us into, a tailspin. Is something I wouldn't want my worst enemy to experience, because we were frolicking and we were planning. Of course, he was supposed to be the, we fondly call him Fish, but Renwick Taylor, and I doesn't even want to. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words, just recalling that situation, but it has to be, because the message is that you don't treat with people, in such a crude and and devious way for one reason or for any reason at all, by of course snuffing out somebody's life simply because you want to maybe gain an advantage for whatever reason, and that is what transpired there.
Very tragic.
We will be making some statements on the corridor transformation tonight. We will have a feature on that, etc. But go ahead, Andy. I see that you want to make
you hear me loud and clear, right? Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Very good. What about this? You hearing this loud and clear too, right?
Play it. You're playing something? No, I'm not hearing anything.
You're not hearing anything there in this one. All right. Online will hear it.
I'm hearing your voice. Beautiful, very, very crisp and solid indeed. You're singing like the pit bull.
All right.
Ready
So are you hearing? Are you hearing this? Just now.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, the bang, bang, bang. Yes, bang, bang, bang.
Oh, so you hear the bang, bang, bang. So you ain't hearing the background. You ain't hearing the background.
No, well, if it is playing, you hear it because I can't. I could confirm that I'm not hearing anything. Right. I'm hearing ja, and of course it reverberates. Ja, it echoing.
All right. So
as was state, I suppose.
What about now?
People don't.
What about now? What about now?
We're testing, we are testing as well, people. Nothing.
All right. Yeah, well, it's Trinidad and Tobago, the lines are open. Yes. While I will get that one, that aspect sorted out, the lines are open. And the numbers to call 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Let me say a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you that are locked on to us on Talk City 91.1 FM. For those of you that are on social media, whether it be Marilyn, Bootram John, Deborah, hey Krishna, pleasant good morning to you. Glory, all of you. Good morning. Let me take a first call. Let me make sure that this person through. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Lennox. Andy.
Good morning.
All the best. I had the enthusiasm of Lennox Smith in buying Captain Bag. Because right now, America ain't control nothing in Venezuela. All they have is a blockade offshore. Delcy Rodriguez in charge. And she says certain things. America take out Maduro with a big, massive attack on a certain part of Caracas, and they take out Maduro. But they're not in charge of Venezuela. Venezuela have the same government, just without Maduro.
I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree with your partner. Partner, you ain't hear what Donald Trump said.
Or comic relief. But
what Donald Trump say? What
Donald Trump say?
What Donald Trump say? That he going to run Venezuela from Washington?
No. Donald Trump said that he is in talks with Delcy. Delcy have been given a chance. Technically, that is what he's saying. And Delcy agreed to cooperate in every way possible. That is what
you know Delcy Rodriguez didn't say that. Is Donald Trump saying that? Trump could say anything he wants. Trump does say anything he wants. It doesn't have to be true.
All right,
Trump spreading propaganda.
Oh my God.
Yes. In terms of he going to run Venezuela and he going to take oil that Venezuela steal from him. I don't understand that physics. Them rearranging what physics is about. That oil in Venezuela, but Trump saying that is their oil, that is America oil. I don't understand that physics at all. So I tell you, Trump is a magic man. The government that had Maduro as the head is still the government in charge of Venezuela. So I don't know what Trump and Rubio talking about, them going to run Venezuela from Washington. I want to know if they're going to run it from Washington. Because they're not going to Venezuela to go. When they're talking, so them should have been in Miraflores Palace. directing who to go away and what to do and who to pay and who not to pay and take off the sanctions. But them want oil companies to come in there.
All right, well, Zandu.
I not against. Let me put something to all. I not against Kamala. I glad for we, right? But Lennox Smith pushing us that cat and bag thing this morning that they take over Venezuela. They may take over Venezuela. They still have warships outside there and they're not on the ground. They make a raid, yes. They take Maduro, yes. I can't fight on that. But they're not controlling Venezuela as yet. If they go in with ground forces and they take over everything and they run in the country, then that is a different story. But right now, all America could do is use air forces to bomb people.
All right, partner. You win. I can't say a win. All I'm saying is I think that you're wrong. I believe you're totally wrong.
That's not the man who say that hypersonic missiles and that no way they could get to Maduro and that he's well protected by Russian. What Korean, not Korean, not the North Koreans not there, but certainly Iranian and who again? And Chinese, Chinese armament. So that's not the fellow who said that. No, he accepted that Maduro got. You lucky he tell you that like my deceased mother, she still don't believe that human beings land on the moon. You're lucky he tell you that Maduro's still in Venezuela. You're lucky. You're lucky he tell you that. Yeah? A pile of jokers. So he doesn't understand that Delcy and the rest of them
work a deal. Them work a deal.
And that the so-called just now, and that the so-called sovereignty and the revolution and all of that has now dissipated. He doesn't understand that they are now the vassal of the United States. He doesn't understand that. All right, okay. He wants more evidence a little later.
But he didn't understand what? Let him understand. Delcy Rodriguez at the end of the day is a diplomat. Delcy Rodriguez could have been a snatch too. For all you know, and the talk we're coming from Venezuelan people itself, is that Delcy Rodriguez strike a deal. And that is Delcy Rodriguez is who sell out Maduro. And at this point, because she went to get...
And he so... I wouldn't want to be too derogatory, but he's so dense. He doesn't understand that when she says, listen, Maduro is still the president, etc., she is talking politics to her domestic audience. Otherwise, the Ichiro, those elements that are still Savasto and of course part and parcel of the revolution, including parts of the army. That's why she has to talk that way. I don't understand how common sense, they say make before book, but common sense is not as common as one would think. You see all of that happening. The man who you say couldn't be removed at all, and he have all this asset from all these so-called countries, including Russia, China, so you see all of them just talking. They want to go to United Nations now. Notice, they want to go to United Nations. It's not that they're going to fire any hypersonic missile and so on. Nonsense that they were talking prior to. Come on, man. You are wrong and you're wrong. And that's it. Full stop. I was boasting that it's unfortunate that I had to be right again. But that is what I was saying. I was correct. We were correct in our position with respect to this matter. Go ahead, my friend. Andy?
Good morning to the magnificent tree.
Good morning to you, my friend. And all the best to you and your family.
Right. I wanted that morning from you. I really wanted that morning from you, Mr. Lennox, because I want to say something before I say anything first. No, it had a man who had called your program, only that only move. Anyway, congratulations to that. Say that it's very disappointed in you, right? You can remember that, right?
Yes.
What I have to say about that man, in my view, I consider you I am putting Andy in this or Mikey in it. I consider you the Mandela of this nation. I consider you as a German man who make the antibiotic for people. I consider you as the man who made the first engine, Mr. Ford. Why I'm saying that? God has put certain people in certain place. And if a man listen to you, Mr. Lennox, and he realize the greatness in you, when I listen to the words you just use, when you speak, it does amaze me to know that a black man from, let me say, Lavanti, in them kind of area then, could be like this. And I know it not just where you learn that. I know God give you that gift. Because people don't just come also and be like that. That's why I will tell you like the Mandela, right? I know Andy and them will accept that too. Because I need them and no stupid people. They will know what you are. They know you more than me, right? But listening to you is a joy in my ears to hear how you speak. I learn a lot every day, and I just look forward to hear you speak because you're one man and not really biased man. You just go with the truth. And when people listen to you, they will, if they go down deeper, they will see you are speaking just because you love UNC. Or you are like this one. You just come up with facts and show people why you like that. Mr. Lennox, you will always be in my heart as one of the greatest persons we have in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Having said that, what I would like to see happen to Trinidad today is for God to put his hand and remove biasness and stupidity in Trinidad and Tobago. That is my wish for this year. Because these people have Trinidad and Tobago down. The heart ain't for the country at all. The heart is just only for politics with the PNM, and is that what they're on? And they're not looking to see how this country to go forward at all, at all. I don't know what kind of people we have here. Maybe dice creation, boy. Because I can't believe when I even hear the newsmen them asking Sean Sovas and Akash, someone asking some kind of question. They even asking them where they keep the conference and all is a problem for them. What kind of people is that? Biases killing us, emotion, biases killing us. I had to go, boy, right? So Mr. Smith and Andy, I know all will keep up the good works and I'm glad all will move and more people could be hearing what we say this morning because I want more and more people to reach out to the ground report because we have great people in the ground report and we have a very informative program, right? And for that man who knows talk there, when he gets slapped in the face and he can't understand it, he is a total, I wouldn't say F, but that's what he is. Thank you, sir.
Wow, Andy. Yes, indeed. Just in case, of course, Andy may have,
Smith,
know,
you're hearing that background there? Let me hear if you're hearing it again.
Go ahead.
No. Oh
No.
boy. But you're hearing the drops. You're not hearing the background. So Gerard, if you can give me an assistance with that. They're not hearing the background music, but they're hearing the drops. Like that.
Bang, 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 and so on.
Yeah, they're hearing all of that. Okay, but no background.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Next caller. Pleasant good morning to you.
And emotional music that we normally that will accompany us as we set up people for the venom of truth.
You know, Andy, I know I hope you're good, and your listeners. You hear me?
Yes, loud and clear,
Yes,
Linda Mark, Tobago. Go ahead, Tobago.
Very nice, very nice. You know, I have to say it's going to be quite some interesting days, looking at the way this indictment is going to go on, especially for the 5 persons that have been captured for this indictment. But I want to say this message because I'm hearing what seems to be backlash coming from the opposition. And I'm also hearing members of the media hinting at sentiment. Lennox, I think we have to do a little constitution education program, you know, because I cannot understand. You have Sean Sobers, you have other relative of other ministers would have been at a press conference on Saturday, and yet we have ministers coming to ask why the Prime Minister is not present. And I'm wondering, are our journalists in our country also guided by the Constitution to understand that the Parliament is made up of ministers, senators, independent senators? Or is it that everybody just pounding one woman to put pressure on the woman? Sometimes I listen to a media and I'm really wondering if these people really have a bachelor's or master's in mass communications, or people just doing our work any way they want to do the work. You know? Secondly, and last, Lennox all have a mighty program cut out for you all for this year, you know, because already, let me tell you a little piece on the ground. Not only they're saying Kamala Prasad is not being blamed for assisting the regime, but do you know it is already being said by certain persons in the People's National Movement that now that there is a move to change over the leaders in the CARICOM, that they have already started accusing the Prime Minister of sending members to smaller Caribbean states to influence them to say yellow is the code. I'm telling you all, we are going into some seriously interesting days. Yeah?
Oh boy, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I realize that too, Lyndon Mark. I realize that too, Lyndon Mark.
Yeah, so I'm just
Yeah, but
wondering the
what is
narrative
wrong with that?
because
I have my party, and if I so choose, I can go to other islands and, of course, associate myself with small parties like mine, who may not have a ghost of a chance of winning an election, but we have a similar ideological position, and therefore we fraternize and we speak and we talk about, of
right.
course, developmental issues with respect to each one of the various islands, one to their own, and nothing is wrong with that.
Okay. Next caller. A pleasant good morning to you, caller. Where you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, Andy. Good morning to Lennox.
Ulrich, man.
I'm calling from.
Nice dress.
Yes.
Hey, Lennox Smith, look, Ulrich, nice dress. He always he back in the dance, you know. And he start off with you. Go ahead, Ulrich.
Andy, I really wish you give us some time this morning. I'm begging for some time.
You can't be too long. You can't be too long. You had to tell
I know. Yeah. Lennox, I want to say to you that I am not your enemy. You are still my brother. I love you very much. We just happen to have a difference of opinion. I respect your opinion, and I wish you could respect mine also. As a matter of fact, Lennox, I know when we meet face to face, you go bust out one big laugh and we go hug one another because you don't know who you're talking to. As a matter of fact, I still have your jersey. Remember when you had the green wagon when you was fighting for a seat? I was supporting you. I was all with you on George when you had the office in George Street. I still wear your jersey up to today with pride.
I've returned to George Street, so we are there on George Street. The same property, just that I return as an owner.
Thank you. That is good news. Well, you will see me shortly. I'll pass and look for you. But at the same time, I wanted to bring it to you. I want to clear the air because some people like to take in my statement the wrong way. The disagreement that I have with the money that the rest on the drivers, I stand by that because I do find that it's right for us to support somebody who agree that the money that were being charged was too high, promise to do something about it. While we waiting, give a man accolade for giving the most ticket. And while we still waiting, double the fines and then come back Christmas morning with a fresh gift for us. We have us in a kind of tailspin right now and have the population uncomfortable. I'm not saying that somebody, if they commit the crime, they don't have to pay a fine. I am not contesting that. You have to pay a fine if you do wrong. I'm not contesting that. All I am just saying is that the fine is too high and the manner in which it was done was wrong. That is all. That is all my contention, you know.
Yeah, but Ulrich, but did you heard the Honorable Prime Minister mention that she will be doing it for 6 months, and so long as drivers behave themselves, she will go back on that?
Yes, I heard that, but Andy, there's not children you're dealing with. We's big people. It's not children you're dealing with. You can't come and tell me behave yourself or otherwise. You know what that remind me of? With Color Me Orange when people went for a job and she telling them hands up, out, up, out, up. And if we pass that stage, I think politicians have to take the population more serious, and the population have to take themselves serious too, and to know when they're making missteps to call them out on it, and not because you're a supporter of a party that you go along with everything the party do or say. If you go along that line, it means that you don't care about yourself, you don't care about the country, and you don't care about the generation coming up after you, which is wrong. That is all my contention. I'm not saying that they don't have things to do, but do things in accordance to the feeling of the population. We uncomfortable here now, like people that get licks for the 9.5 years, they get licks so bad. So the licks that they get now, like they get immune, like they get accustomed to licks. People coming up with all kind of things, but always attacked. And the government, PNM government, they do this and PNM. That is, I am not contesting them thing. I am only talking about the fees that they're charging, the taxi and the private car. And imagine my daughter driving up the highway, a truck in front of her. A little pebble come off the truck and hit the glass. If you see the little thing it have on the glass. And she frightened to drive the car. She had to drop her son to school. She had to drop another son to work and all. And she frightened to drive the car because of this little thing it have on the glass. And she have no money to replace the windscreen right now. What she supposed to do? You understand? Them is the thing I talking about. I want the government to pay more attention to the road. The pothole it have in the road, that when you go down in a pothole, it's busting your shocks and damaging your vehicle. Pay attention to them things. Pay attention to when the pitch road, you get guarantee from the people that do the paving, so that we, the drivers out here, will be in a better position. But no, they're going the other way. I am not a dashboard dolly. I'm not going down that road. So, Lennox, me and you have no contention. I will come and look for you and we will talk better.
All right, but before you go, I just want to tell you, John said he agree with you. June said next caller.
Andy.
Yeah, wait.
Andy.
Wait. I have to tell you what the people are commenting at the end of the day. Ann Munsami, better known as Santa Cruz, is saying, Ulrich, hogwash. Then you are condoling lawbreakers. The fines were high. They continue breaking the law. So, so raise it. I'll just leave out the DM minute, but raise it.
Andy,
right?
Them people, especially that last one that make that statement, remind me of a Santa Cruz Kobo who's saying that I is Rowley mouthpiece. I have no affiliation with the PNM. I don't like PNM.
All right. But
I don't want no part of PNM.
Remember, you had your say, Ulrich. I just making sure our online people are involved too. So you already had your say. So thank you very much. Let me just think where we're online is saying, because again, the interaction is between Talk City 91.1 FM, which they can call in. They can also log on to Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT YouTube. You know, some people shy. Some people may not want to call in because they don't want somebody to hear the voice and all those various things. And what the ground report have done is set a precedent in Trinidad and Tobago in talk radio, where the onliners are totally involved in the program too. So, Ann Munsami mentioned that. We have John saying, caller, if all it is big people who abide by the law, you're talking, well, you know, dots. You're talking nice. Oh boy. Right, Kenrick Passad is saying, caller, go commit the, well, I'll show you what's going to say, caller, don't commit the crime, stop talking nonsense. Oh boy, so let's go take all the time while you all are texting, right? Right. So let's organize and go back to the lines. Let's organize. I'll go and check to see how much WhatsApp voice notes we have at this point in time too. So what we're going to do is just take a call again, and then we'll go down into the WhatsApp voice notes. I'm just trying to familiarize myself too based on my background. I want to believe in studio, Lennox Smith and them will be not hearing it. But I want to believe on 91.1 Talk City, they will be hearing my background. So for those of you that are looking to us on radio self, not on social media, tell me if you all are hearing this background drop.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, we are hearing bang, bang,
right,
bang.
only the bang, bang, bang. And it's coming from the same computer, but only not hearing the background. But that's nothing. Caller, go ahead, man. We're going to sort out that. But because Talk City might be hearing it, All might be not hearing it in studio, but Talk City might be hearing it. I don't know yet. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning. You hear me, Andy? This is Tabakit.
All right, Tabakit. A pleasant good morning to you.
All the best to you and yours.
All right, and happy change of calendar. Can I continue with my contribution?
Yes. Did you try to log on to us on Talk City? On Talk City or social media? Log on to us on.
Well, I am on social media because I am out of my house, so I am using social media.
No problem.
Yeah.
But anybody that log on to us on Talk City, could you please let me know if you all are here in the background? But Tabakit, you go ahead with your contributions, my brother.
Okay, first of all, let me say a happy change of calendar. And let me say congratulations to Andy, to Lennox, the Englishman, and my brother Michael Kerr, and to our dear sister Santa Cruz for her position there. And it's time to move on. Now, Andy, I will consider myself to be a social media watchdog to certain activists as they misstep. And from Saturday, media, and from Saturday till last night, I want to caution bloggers, influencers, and content creators, those who would have supported the party to come into your place to sanction. So it's not your place to discipline the government. I repeat again, it is not social media content creator and influencers to discipline the government.
Your feed real bad. Your feed bad. You're breaking up. Your feed is very bad. Tabakit, your feed bad. Yeah, your call dropping. You really said that to the outside. Your feed in and out, in and out. Oh. And Munsami say it was lock on, but getting better reception. Okay. But Miss Munsami, you was clean though. You was clean. When you look on, you were saying that's clean, but just remember you up in the north there, Talk City, you wasn't getting Talk City clear. The reception of Talk City not clear up there, which that will be worked on. For those of you in various parts of Trinidad and Tobago that are not getting Talk City 91.1 FM clear, as in reception clear, you're gonna get that soon. So what I last heard is management are working on that. So you all will get it clear soon. Nice. So let's take a next call. For a matter of fact, let me play some try to squeeze in some voice notes there quick too. Oh boy, everybody's involved. Down to the voice noters. Let's see. Right. Let's play.
Good morning to you, Mikey Lennox.
Nice. Oh boy. I was to take off that. Go ahead, call. Make it short and sweet before I start back that voice note. Go ahead, listen to us through your phone.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. KFC alive and in good health. And they are in a loud, but in a big box here, but I in the big box, all my neighbors them here in the talk city. Booming right now.
All right, so you lock on to us on 91.1 FM.
Yeah, I look on to the talk city. I return on my big box and I watching the Bobby here there on the radio and TV there. You and Lennox, so you're looking sharp.
All right, well, meaning your TV is on social media, but your radio is on Talk City. All right. Are you hearing this right now on the radio? Tell me if you hear any background on your radio right now. Listen.
Nah.
Bang, 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 bang.
All you hear is bang, bang,
yeah,
bang.
I know hearing bang, bang,
That's
bang, bang, bang. It come in and out, but all I get in there.
All right. But when it comes to be talking, you only hear us loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm glad for that we carrying on the work loud and clear for the whole nation. When in a Maxine, your bus, any vehicles, look on to Talk City and the William Lennox Smith and the Pastor Michael Kerr.
Okay.
But and then I went to church all yesterday. When I was going in church, I see the pastor who was praying for me for the last 9 years plus. So I got to run out. I said, now I'm going to give myself to God and ask for forgiveness and thing. You see all the prayers you give me all through the COVID and all through the march and thing in there. Look out for Parasad and Guy this year. Yeah. Okay. So I think KFC alive and he good at and I look for listening. Bless.
You is trouble, you know. You is real trouble. Let me take our next call. Caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where are you calling from? What's the contribution of the Gong Report this morning?
Good morning. I'm calling from Granby and
Sandy Granby, a pleasant good morning to you. Go ahead. What's your contribution on the Gong Report this morning? Your front burner.
Morning is it's love to everyone in the Gong Report. Lennox Smith, Andy Williams, Michael K. You know, especially at this time, I saw something on the TV during the holidays where Lennox Smith, one of his friends, was gunned down in town. And I want to send my, I want to send condolence to him and what they had experienced, because losing a life is so valuable. And, our country is going good because we have the UNC running it, and they have the only say in our country going right. They said, the fines on the road is very good. We needed to have a civilized road where people will drive and think about each other, and we will not have all this set of accidents. I share my love to everyone this morning because that love is there for us. We all need to put it out for each other and look at the UNC government and really what they're doing for us. They're making us, they're getting a good country, Trinidad and Tobago. We seeing things happening in Venezuela. With Trump and Maduro, which is nothing to do with us really. It's showing the fact that our Prime Minister had nothing to do with this, and all this revelation has taken place, and the people will see more and more how truthful the UNC is.
Lennox Smith, you go ahead. Answer some of the things that some are saying there.
Yes,
I'll just put it up some.
But of course, There are other issues that we should be focusing on, but as I said, maybe 2/3 of what, or maybe a third of what we have to do this morning, of course, is to get some of the butterflies out of the system. And that is a part and parcel of the objective this morning as the first day of the program for 2026. Once again, I cannot overemphasize a pleasant 2026 for all and sundry, or to all and sundry, wishing you that which you wish for yourself. And I normally would say it, I said it at the commencement of last year's, so I see no reason why to end that tradition. No, I wish you a lot of money this year. And of course, when I say so, I mean it legitimately. I mean it with a hard work, industry, and with a high degree of creativity. And because too often we find that, particularly among the African community, to wish somebody plenty money this year or in any time at all, I always find it, people shy away, or their facial expression turns to one that suggests that it is impossible. I say to you, no. We have this similar ability. We have this similar acumen, like any businessman from any ethnic group or any other ethnic group, and therefore you should not feel in any way embarrassed, ashamed. Once, of course, you are pursuing that course of action which is legitimate, and of course the state, the government, the population, the country encourages that. And why? Because if you are a small businessman, and it has been established from time immemorial that 60% of the employed are usually employed with small businesses. So therefore, when you would have set up a small business and it grows into a medium and large and so on, you would have been contributing to the economy, your country, and of course generating and expanding, of course, the GDP of the country in the interests of prosperity. And of course, being able to pay our respective bills, whether at the level of the family, level of the community, or level of the country. So I have no apology to make with respect, of course, to wishing people that you make plenty money this year, and I will continue so to do. With respect to my good friend, the voice sounds familiar, but whether that is so or not, the fact of the matter is that my position with respect to the fines, which became, of course, a firestorm sort of discussion, particularly on social media and on the real media as well, prior to the turn of the year, would have been what were the intervening factors that would have caused the present administration and the Prime Minister to up the fees as opposed to lower it, as was being touted across social media, and of course it becoming what clearly would have been something that would have been ubiquitous and seen to be something that might have been reneging on a promise made, and therefore the integrity of the Prime Minister would have been called into question. And of course, I was at pains to say that clearly the integrity of the Prime Minister has not have not suffered in any way, simply because we have seen where the merit points, as promised, was reduced. We have seen, of course, delivery to the public servants in terms of the 10% agreement and arrangement. We have seen, of course, property tax being withdrawn, and so many other issues relating to that. So this one issue, and that is why I referenced the term in psychology, it is called framing, where you one exception
1 minute,
and make
Smith.
it.
Hold 1 minute.
That is in this particular case a political narrative, and that is why I concluded that it was, of course,
Hold 1 minute,
E&M
Lennox.
proper.
Go ahead, caller.
exercise. My friend,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Good morning, Andy Williams. God bless you. God bless all you for the new year. Because this is Granny. I called to remind you to meet Dr. Tim Gopi Singh. My grandson is one of the student doctor finished internship and working with a whole group of them who finished internship to call them. And this is going in 9 months plus when the PNM day, highly qualified doctors, they have big trophy and they get calling yet the oil loan. I like the government, I'm a UNC, that is my government, but I don't know what Tim Gopi Singh is doing. These children owing student loan, they owing other loan, and they would like to get their work. Kamala said, the Prime Minister, education is the key to come out of poverty. These children is not rich children. How will they come out of poverty and they take the education from 3 years till you finish medicine, finish internship? I would like you to do that for me.
I'm not
please.
hearing the call. I'm not hearing the callers.
I would like you to do
And
that for me,
nothing
please.
different to how it was in the previous dispensation. When I was on George Street and you were where you are. So there may be something at your end.
Right. So what I want to say is that, and I want to say God bless all you. God bless all you for the new year. I am a UNC. I would like to get these children to get help. Because my grandson is a doctor in it. Right? I would like you to call me back and say you would meet him, Gopi Singh. Right. So as I'm waiting on your call, I will always remind you. You know? Now, they don't have to beg because they have their education and they hard working. They have very good characters, the whole batch of them. 3/4 of them is UNC. What keeping back Tim Gopi Singh? Because I'm waiting this month. And if I do not let Tim Gopi Singh do something, I am a UNC. The UNC is my government. I will be in front of all the hotel with placard. I is the old woman granny, and the leader went to visit when he was commissioner. We get scratch bomb ban, and firecracker was under control. He said in Savannah, we went to get cruelty to animals. Visit didn't finish it yet. And now I cannot move to finish what I had to do for the country. So I would like you to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Granny. Lennox Smith, go ahead by the time. Just checking up on something here.
Yeah, but I want to tell you that we have not been able to hear the callers and their contributions. Oh, we heard the others. Right, okay. This particular one. So there may be something. It's such a song as how I used to get it when I was on George Street. So let's see what. I don't know if some tweaking has to be done on your side. But that being as it may. The point I was making earlier with respect, of course, to the caller who said that, of course, we are friends. Well, I want to tell him I, too, have no animosity. I have no bad blood in my being. So I want to say, and of course, I always take things in the spirit in which one should take it. And that is to say that while, of course, we may disagree with each other, I will defend the right for you to speak because this is a democracy and our effort is to, of course, democratize the process where people feel free to speak. Of course, within certain parameters. For example, you can't use the obscene language. Can't be so annoyed that you're using obscene language and so on. But outside of that, once, of course, it is within palatable and permissible vocal or should I say word limits, then of course we could interact, and we may disagree with each other, whether you call me a hush puppy or something on some dashboard. But that is from as far as I'm concerned, water and duck back. It doesn't add value to anything by of course going personal. But if that's the choice, I have no difficulty because I think I have the capacity to reciprocate. So once, of course, the other side accepts that, because they would have initiated the name calling kind of thing. But that being explained, the point I am making is that, and I did that last time, and I think it is worth, of course, regurgitating now that this caller has brought up the issue, and that is, there might have been, I talked about the integrity of the Prime Minister still being intact based on all of the things before, and of course the psychological condition called framing, where of course you take an exception and make it the rule. But we also analyze the situation and recognize that if the Prime Minister increase rather than decrease, then there must have been some intervening factor or factors that would have created that position, having regard to her normal behavior. And we had isolated what caused that, and that is to say, the behavior of motorists on the roads. And therefore, that would have been part and parcel of the narrative, of the rationale for the increase, because you want to save lives. People are not obeying the road code, and they are being, of course, extremely callous and flagrantly would, of course, breach the highway code. So in order to get their attention, you increase to a point which is almost prohibitive. And of course, keep it in mind that it is what? It is not a tax, as the opposition would like us to believe, but it is a fine, meaning that if you do not commit the act, and of course within the or should I say within the sight of the enforcers, whether it be licensing officers or police, etc., well, of course, you will be found on the other side of the coin, meaning that you will be issued such a fine. So it is and therefore it's behavioral change. And something recently happened that confirms not only has the integrity of the Prime Minister remained intact, but it also verifies, certifies, endorses that it was about behavioral change that would have engendered the reason for the increase in fines. And of course, what is that recent statement? That after 6 months, if behavioral change remain consistent in terms of responsibility by the motoring public or those persons who utilize the road as motorists, etc., then it will be considered and reduced. So the integrity issue continues, of course, to be very valid. The whole question of the rationale for it, behavioral change, continues to be consistent and as permanent as the Northern Star. So I think that recent, without having to prompt, without having to influence, the Prime Minister clearly would have been listening to the debate on the matter, and therefore reinforced the fact that it was about behavioral change. And thus the recent statement that if after 6 months the behavior of the motoring public is of a nature that conforms to what is expected and accepted, then there will be a revision downwards of the fine. And that is the point I was making. So somebody to be disappointed in me for saying that, I think, of course, in my view, it is one that was either preemptive or one that was nestled really in someone who really wasn't listening to the reasoning I would have advanced as to why I could see the Prime Minister saying or acting opposite to that which she would have said, recognizing that her integrity has not been compromised. That is an important point that I would want to, of course, for the new year, bring to the fore, because we have had too many of these speculative things. And I want to say this, that those persons who, prior to what transpired with the Americans and their strike on Venezuela, you have heard Nicola, I mean, totally hilarious, and I'm being kindly hilarious, to hear that person say, well, listen, all right, I accept that they get Maduro and he's back in America, but they can't go in. Well, there's another psychological term that came to my mind immediately, and that is cognitive dissonance. It's something like the fox and the grapes, you know. The fox couldn't get the grapes, so he say that it had worm in it, that it must be sour, etc. That is how I see that compromise of the very ardent position, having regard to the whole idea of what? Of hypersonic missiles and the efficaciousness of the Russians' war machinery and their equipment on the ground in Venezuela. The fact of the matter is that it never rose. Andy and them used to give me a fatigue, used to, but I think these days they don't do it, but I think it's applicable here too. Because when I contested the elections under Love in 2007 and I lost, and there were several things that transpired. And of course, the rocket is my symbol, my political symbol for Love. He said that the rocket never got off the ground. Well, I want to apply that to this situation as well. That the fact of the matter is that you have to accept that the Americans have gotten their way.
Yeah, they got
full
the way.
stop.
They got the way.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So here it is. Let's organize and just play some quick voice. No. Are we going for a break now to come back? Master Control, you let me know when we going for that break.
We're heading for the news.
You're heading for the news? All right, well then let me don't play no voice note then. Yes.
This is TTT News on the TTT Limited Media Network on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Good morning. This is your TTT News update. I'm Sherilyn Lewis making the news at this time. Prime Minister Kamala Persson-Bissessar said there is no crisis in Trinidad and Tobago, addressing Saturday's military operation in Venezuela, which led to the capture of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Mrs. Persson-Bissessar assured the public that what happened in Venezuela has nothing to do with Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister stated that as Venezuela undergoes its transition, Trinidad and Tobago looks forward to deepening its long-standing friendship with the people of Venezuela and renewing cooperation. Mrs. Persson-Bissessar said she was asked about the U.S. indictment against Mr. Maduro and whether she was surprised that Caribbean politicians were implicated. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Service says the relationship between this country and Venezuela is not compromised. He says the current situation taking place in Caracas is fluid and dynamic, but Trinidad and Tobago remains steadfast in its relationship with our Spanish-speaking neighbors. Minister Service says he is not aware of any citizen feeling uneasy by the situation occurring in Venezuela on Saturday.
We want to work with the United States as a long fraternal partner to make not only the United States but its allies, Trinidad and Tobago being one of them, safer, stronger, and more prosperous. The well-being of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago has always been forefront and paramount, most important to this Prime Minister and to this administration. And any policy by any country that will ensure that that occurs, Trinidad and Tobago and this administration, led by the Prime Minister, will support.
He says the National Security Council, led by the Prime Minister, worked effectively to activate pre-planned protocols to ensure that the country was kept safe as the US-led action was taking place.
I don't believe that it is correct to say that the Prime Minister did not give information as it came to us through the National Security Council. As information came, based upon the sensitivity of the information, based upon certain protocols, established set protocols that were being reviewed at the National Security Council level, information was disseminated. This is an ever-evolving situation, and being sensitive in terms of what we see, what we do, how we approach the situation is extremely important.
Councillor for Enterprise South Longdonville North, Brenda John, distributed many prizes to residents of the community during a New Year's football event with a twist, which saw participants decked in male and female formal attire. The event was organized to promote community spirit and camaraderie through sport. Councillor John called on residents to keep up the community events.
I'm here to bring greetings from Shabona's Borough Corporation and also the Shabona's East MP, Ms. Vandana Mohit, and extension of PM. I'm also here to see who it is I can give 50 US to. I'm also here to give out some Pennywise vouchers. I'm also here to give away 200. So I will see who it is. They can select who it is they want. So I'm here to support whatever event is happening in my electoral district. I'm always supporting.
Councillor John reminded residents about her office hours, which they will be afforded an opportunity to air their concerns.
My office is next to 6.1 in Enterprise Southern Main Road. I'll be opening back on the 5th of January, seeing persons on the 6th. Thursday, that's normally be my field visit where I will drive around in the community Thursday and Friday to see what are the issues. On the 21st, I had over 600 children distributed treat at the Londonville basketball court. I will continue to work in my electoral district. I cannot do street by street and I cannot reach everyone, but my doors are open to each and every one. I do not segregate.
And to sport, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, Philip Watts, is expressing condolences on the passing of former Member of Parliament, Eddie Hart. In a statement to TTT Sport, Minister Watts notes that Trinidad and Tobago is mourning the loss of a true patriot and a cornerstone of our sporting culture. He says Eddie Hart was more than just a name on a league. He was a visionary who understood that sport is the most powerful tool we have for community transformation and youth empowerment.
Truly legendary.
That was TTT News on the TTT Limited Media Network on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
This is about creating opportunity through responsible management and citizen participation in national wealth. We are targeting US $3 billion in new investment within the next few years in energy, in construction, in tourism, and the digital economy.
Music.
It's reconstruction time in Trinidad, so put your shoulder to the women that stop. For big and for small, in no time at all. There's no other way. Your patriotic instinct. That ever need.
The budget has goodies and some not so goodies, but that is because fairness requires that everyone plays their part.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
Government ministers say they are moving to cut through long-standing bureaucratic delays in the energy sector with the creation of a new energy accelerator hub. The initiative is designed to fast-track approvals and licenses that have slowed projects for years. Minister of Energy and Energy Industries Dr. the Honorable Rudal Munilal explained that the hub will operate as a one-stop desk, bringing together key agencies to address challenges as they arise.
Energy, comprising several entities, both within the Energy Ministry and outside of the Energy Ministry, and it required, of course, cabinet authority. So that will coordinate the problems, the complaints, and in real time, try to sort out some of the problems that we face. Because in the energy sector, of course, you have, a myriad of challenges.
Minister Munilal says the hub will coordinate issues ranging from work permits to legal matters, allowing problems to be addressed in real time and reducing waiting periods that have frustrated investors and operators across the sector. The Energy Accelerator Hub is expected to be operational in the first quarter of 2026. Officials are confident the initiative will help unlock faster investment, improve efficiency, and support the transformation of Trinidad and Tobago's energy sector.
This was a production of the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister.
Request your favorite song. 622-4911.
Yes, indeed. Of course, we are back. We are back. Of course, this is Talk City. Yes, of course. But you are hearing, listening, and of course, viewing on the social media. Of course, the ground report on Talk City 91.1. Yes, indeed. Of course, no television yet. Next week, Monday. Look forward to that. But that being as it may, there are other issues that we have yet to address at this point in time. I think this is the best time so to do at this point in time. What's the time now? Is we just have yes, it's 12 minutes past the 8 o'clock. And therefore, of course, I think we should veer into other areas of national concern and import. And that is, of course, Lee warns against squatting in HDC properties. There was a press conference held, and I think I was taken aback when, of course, I saw on either side of the presenters, whether it was Lee, whether the Minister Lee, whether it was the head of HDC or the Minister of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Matters, to see on one side, on their left, I saw a national flag, and then on the right there was a UNC flag, and then one of the first questions that was asked at question time was why it is that they have that press conference or had that press conference at the UNC headquarters. Well, the response was that it is midway, and when I fact checked, I realized that is indeed midway. In that. Khan, the head of HGC, said, well, he lives in Couva. Sean Sobers, I think, a little farther. And then then of course Lee, his constituency is somewhere around there. So why not? Because of course the idea was, why wasn't it in some government institution? But then I think that would have been held on a Saturday or Sunday. And why is it they didn't put that as part of the equation in terms of the response to that particular question? But I wanted to do that as well, because my common sense will tell me that government agencies are not usually open on a weekend, right? So I want to put that into the equation as well. So so that might be an anomaly, that might be an exception, but the purpose or the imperative to hold that press conference clearly was in the light of the recent strike by the Americans in Venezuela. And I want to say as well that I took note of the opposition leaders' concern about the whereabouts of the Honorable Prime Minister, because she was not in that press conference. But I thought it was a bit disingenuous. I don't want to say dishonest, but disingenuous of the opposition leader to, of course, speak to everything else except what the response was to that specific question, because a journalist did ask why the Prime Minister was not present. And the opposition leader seemed to have missed that response. And the response was very simple. And it was, of course, delivered by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Sean Sobers, who said that the Prime Minister would have been up speaking to various players because the thing occurred 2 o'clock in the morning. And therefore she was up dealing with matters of state. And therefore I interpreted to mean that it would have been physically challenging for her to, just come to a press conference, travel to go to a press conference in Chaguanas as the place of choice. Not that, because I want to make it clear, it could have happened, I suppose, at the diplomatic center, but where I assume that she would have been, or she may not have been, even if it was at her home in Philippines. The fact of the matter is that I gleaned from it, common sense will tell you, that she was tired. Simple. And therefore, put the most appropriate person to address the matter because of the exigency and the urgency, it having just, of course, less than 24 hours, 32 hours, the incident occurred. So I want to tell those persons who look at and believe that the opposition leader didn't know what she was saying or conveniently left out that explanation. At minimum, one would have expected at least she would have said what the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sean Sobers, would have said in response to that, rather than attempting, of course, to ask where's the Prime Minister and leave that out there as if somebody is hiding from the population, and more significantly, to suggest that the matter was not raised at that press conference. And I would have thought that it would have been a derelict of responsibility for any journalist in such a circumstance, having regard, of course, to what transpired, that is the strike on Venezuela by the Americans, to not ask that question. So I want to tell the opposition leader once again, you have been found wanting. Wanting. At minimum, you should have said that you don't believe, even if you say you don't believe that she was tired. No problem with that. But to suggest that statement could be made, where is the Prime Minister, in isolation, without it put there, gleaning from the same source that she would have, of course, issued other concerns with respect, of course, to the American strike. I think that was disingenuous. And I say, I don't want to say dishonest. I want to say disingenuous. I could have said dishonest. The other matter, of course, Soba's PM is on top of things. That's another topic that is in the Newsday, and it refers to the fact that the Prime Minister did issue a statement indicating that the population has nothing to fear. Only the opposition seem to be fear-mongering. They seem to be caught up in a state of what I consider to be hustling for political mileage and not recognizing the damage that if people take them seriously, that could be done by the gullible. But it's a good thing you have, of course, the ground report and people like Andy and so on who will, of course, tell it as this. And, of course, these days, well, from today, Talk City, etc., that will bring the reality of Trinidad and Tobago from a perspective that it cannot be questioned. The veracity cannot be questioned. Yes, cannot be questioned. All right, Beckles, where is Kamala? Well, that's the other one. I think I touched that already. I thought it was the first thing to touch on because I mean, let's face it, it was simply disingenuous. As I say, I don't want to say dishonest. Valencia woman shot dead. Yes, I think we had the first double murder for the year. I think it was yesterday, where of course there were two persons who died in tragic circumstance. Every murder is a tragic circumstance, so I want to say we acknowledge that. PNM mourns Eddie Hart. Well, I think a lot has been said and will be said. Of course, government and non-government, particularly PNM officials, have been, of course, given their condolences, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of what I consider to be eulogy to go around as far as whilst he was alive, what he would have accomplished and what he would have meant to Trinidad and Tobago and the particular community that he served over the years, Tonopuna in particular. All right, Griffith, the bully has been bullied. I will not normally agree with Gary Griffith, particularly in recent times, because of course one could understand his motives. One can understand the justification for being or for his exaggerations on particular topics. But I will accept this for what it is. The bully has been bullied, and he was making a comment, or he is making a comment, where, of course, Maduro has gotten, of course, some of his own medicine. And that I absolutely agree. No one could argue that. Of course, there has been some, what I consider to be, superficial protest. MSJ, of course, the leader, Abdullah, he seemed to be a sucker for what I consider to be attaching his wagon to the wrong issue, to the wrong cause. And this time it was no exception. He, of course, I think was part and parcel of a grouping that went into the Venezuelan embassy here in Trinidad, I think it was yesterday, to express their concern for the Americans' action from a negative perspective. Not that they're endorsing the Americans, they're saying that ought not to be the usual rhetoric, sovereignty, non-interference, a zone of peace, and all of those what I consider to be superficial and superfluous, pie in the sky, impractical commentary that really and truly does not take into account that over 8 million people would have left Venezuela on the account of Maduro. The generation of the instability of this part of Latin America. I'm talking about South America and the surrounding countries, whether it be that of Colombia, that of Chile, that of Argentina. Of course, the Argentinian president was in high praise for Trump. And of course, Brazil, and you have, of course, Paraguay and Uruguay, all of these countries in South America that would have been the victim of that 8 million people that had to leave that 27 million people strong nation because of the persecution and the ravaging of the economy and the victimization and to use Gary Griffith's term, and the bullying of his people, and indeed attempts to bully Trinidad and Tobago as well by their bellicose language early when the presence of the Americans became evident. All right. You want to call him? Oh, yeah. Andy?
Nice.
Huh? The voice notes. Before we took the break, you were about to engage that aspect of the... okay, well, go right ahead.
Okay, then.
Yes, so we'll continue with the different headlines.
Let me think the voice notes.
Go ahead. After the voice notes.
Yeah. Let me think those voice notes. We just working on the back of the scenes by the meanwhile.
You're multitasking.
Good morning, Mikey, Lennox, and Andy. Happy New Year. It's nice to see you guys up and running now. But I have a little question concerning all this, Maduro and, who get arrested and all these things. A question to keep popping up in the social media is that they're doing a sweep now and they believe that we might have politicians involved with him too. So is it possible that we former PM might be involved too? Because that's what the social media is saying, and the news saying it also. I just want to know if a lot of politicians in these other Caribbean islands, including Trinidad, might be a part of this thing too, this web, where they could, gather all these links together, as they would say. Well, all needs to see is when it play out, who they go dragnet and who they go pulling or not. All right, blessings everyone. Happy New Year again, and let all God's blessings.
Oh boy, you're getting them loud and clear, right?
Loud and clear, my friend. Yes, indeed.
Good morning again. Andy, this is an short one, so I hope we could play the two voice notes. That'll be great. I want to know if the MSJ leader going mad or what? What is he really trying to achieve, And I don't think what is he trying to do will be something he will be able to achieve, I don't know. I guess he want to go and live in Venezuela. So, but he protesting with the Venezuelans and them. Right? I don't know what going on with him. He just like he going out to Rockers now. Right? All right. Blessings.
You see all them callers who coming up on the live and talking them kind of go bar. I don't give a flying kite with them think or with them see. I know what I saying is the facts. I stand by what I saying, and people with sense would understand what I saying. As a matter of fact, the reason why PNM is out of office right now is because of this same thing. If always a glutton for punishment, I am not a glutton for punishment. So don't be on my case. I don't want nothing from all you.
Wow. Hey, Ulrich standing firm with those fines. Let's continue.
Good morning to you, Mikey, Lennox, Newbie, and to everybody out there. And Happy New Year to each and every one. Andy, sometimes I wonder, right? Why it is that we have to treat big people like little children? You know why? Because they behave like little children. They behave like little children. You continue breaking the law. You continue breaking the law and expect to have the same consequences. No. If you're a parent and your child is breaking rules, house rules that you set down there for them, parent rules, aren't you going to up the ante to make sure that they straighten up and fly right? What is wrong in that? What is wrong in that? Yes, she did say it was too high, but as a prime minister now, she has seen where people continually breaking the law. What was she supposed to do? Not up the ante for them? And now you come to make reference about the color me orange. If you remember, don't just come and say it like that. If you remember, they were very noisy there that day. And she did that. So what? Sometimes the big people have to be treated like little children because they behave like little children. They behave like little children. You want to tell me that a man was 31 kilometers over the speed limit, and he complaining about having to pay, I think it was 4,800 or something like that. You broke the speed limit. You broke the law. If you would at that speed, right, and somebody gave you a bad drive, or there was something in the road that you had to swerve to avoid it, or a tire blowout or something, and it would have been more for you, it would have been dangerous for you. So all this nonsense about it affecting poor people, stop breaking the law. Stop breaking it. You break the law and you pay the fines. You're on your cell phone, you know it is wrong. You're texting and driving without seatbelts, drunk driving. How many times do you have to warn your children about something? And how many times is she going to warn the citizens about something? Put yourself in that position. You don't want to pay the government any money? Then do the right thing. Toe the line. Straighten up and fly right. Andy, thanks a lot and have a good one.
We papa. All I don't want to pay no fines. Don't do the crime. That's Santa Cruz. They're saying that Ulrich. Many other people are saying, yeah, the law is the law. But some people are singing like Ulrich too, saying that the issue is the admittance that the fines was too high. But then we also had to put in consideration the government, through the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, mentioned that here it is. I will look to retract that after 6 months. If only behave yourself in a 6 months period, we go drop them prices. I take away the demerit points. I realize people now start to overdo it more. Well, plenty, because that way technically the government is saying. We moved the demerit points. It was moved for about a month, 2 months or so. The demerit points gone. But within that time, Trinidad and Tobago, the road breakers or the restless driving rise. Because remember, people now realize, hey, I ain't losing my license no more, you know. It are not the merit points for me to lose my license. So here it is. I gonna start back to rail speed. I gonna start back to take the shoulder. I gonna start back to drunk drive, dangerous driving. Here it is. I taking a chance with my insurance, with driving a car without insurance. I taking a chance with driving a car without a valid license permit. That is what went on after the demerit points was moved by the government. It rise. So the government realized, I come and move the demerit points to you all. Because it was so hard, so bad, the demerit points. Which is truth. It was really harsh. People was losing a license. But as the demerit points move, most of them drivers gone mad. Hey, no demerit points. And they start to do nonsense on the nation roads. That is what the government put into consideration Ulrich. So she say here it is when they watch the 2 months time period, 3 months time period that the demerit points was moved. The Trinidad and Tobago driving population get more reckless. So they say here it is. I ain't gonna put back the demerit points, you know. But let me raise the fines because I had to think. Raise those fines. To deter, because remember that what they say, the fines is a deterrent to lawbreakers, and if you don't break the law, you don't have to worry about no fines. So we getting the two things mixed. So Ulrich, look at bring the established understanding of the government making a choice like raising the fines. It was because they left the fines where it was, and the demerit points now was moved with the government leaving the fines where it was. But then lo and behold, the lawless dump after agree with the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
Bang, 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 bang.
And maybe, Andy, one may add, she probably took basket from the leader of the opposition, because the opposition started to say that now that you have removed the merit points, here it is, of course, because there were 1 or 2 serious accidents on the road. And while, of course, it's a square peg in round hole argument, really, a non-argument, but they started to capitalize on that and say, well, listen, this is what the result of the removal of the demerit points system has produced. And so, again, giving validity to seeking a greater deterrence by hiking the price. Hiking, of course, the fees, not the fees, but the fines. And I'm saying that does not take away the integrity of the Prime Minister. Does not.
Correct.
Does not compromise it.
So Trinidad and Tobago.
And now she comes back and say that, listen, if all the behavior, listen, showing again consistency in integrity, I am going to reduce it because the concern is behavioral change. Remember, the opposition was also saying, and those who are soothsayer were also saying, that was really a tax. Remember that?
Yeah, and wrong. So Trinidad and Tobago, again, you all wanted, Ulrich, all of you wanted, yours truly, the pitbull of radio, whole take on this. And I and all was like, whoa, I see the video all over the place where the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa saying various things. Yes, she did. She did. The videos and them that was circulating can't lie. She did say the taxes was too high. Yes, the Honorable Prime Minister. She did say that there are rogue police officers and licensed officers that will get up across the bed and will organize and do what they want. She did also said that the taxing situation, that was a form of tax by the PNM to tax the people in Trinidad and Tobago, correct? But what you all are not saying or understanding, the raise in the heights of the ticketing system or the penalties have everything to do with the 3 months that the merit points was moved. And yes, it was high. It was still all right. The same high that Ole find it was high that she had was a drop, and she said she was going to drop. It remained right there. Understand this, Trinidad and Tobago. It had remained right there. But lo and behold, Trinidad and Tobago drivers so unlawful, because Trinidad and Tobago is an unlawful dump or a lawless society. It is what it is. We must say it. If it's blue, it's blue. If it's green, it's green. Yours truly, the pitbull of radio. I made calls because I and all try to understand why the government will organize now and raise it. And then when they send the various statistics that while the demerit points was moved, people start to go haywire, mad, more speeding, more drunk driving, more recklessness, ignoring that they still had a fine to pay, no? So the government had no choice. They say, whoa, we removed the demerit points. We'll have them in an order that the P&M did put there. It is harsh, but here we had to do. We had to get them back a deterrent. We have to get them back a deterrent because more and more people will organize and continue to break the law because they're ignoring in their book now. That last set of money was small money. You know, it's like children. All right, I could pay that. It was only 1,000. Yeah, so I go still, I ain't gonna wear my seatbelt because I could still make up 1,000. But when they raise it and say, well, you might have to pay 2,000 now. Oh God! Oh God! The wicked! Oh God, the government wicked! But you know nobody in balling. Oh God! Oh God! The government move the demerit points, that wicked demerit points. The government moved it. Well, Bolna, and oh God, Trinidad and Tobago. You know the drivers and them going back mad, more mad. So the government had no choice to implement back something to deter you all from your reckless ways. And what they did, they doubled the fines. They doubled the fines. And in doing that, as Lennox Smith said, the Prime Minister integrity. She said that here it is. If in 6 months' time in, we see all your behaving all yourself, meaning the double fines come like a demerit points come back. That's how I will take it. But how the demerit points? But if in 6 months, we see all you obeying the law, that's all they're saying, you know, obey the law. If we see all you obeying the law, we're going to drop back those fines. So what all is caught in between is obeying the law, you know. What each and every one of you driving public of Trinidad and Tobago and the loudest voices out there that against it, don't have a license. The kind of drive not even a choo-choo train, toy choo-choo train that Lennox Smith gave people during the Christmas period. The kind of drive a toy car, them little toy car them so. They have no license. They are not part of the driving public. But just to fight the government of Trinidad and Tobago, rah, 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 oh God, they're wicked. They come like, there's like the P&M. No way this government is like the P&M.
Bang, bang, bang.
I could never agree with anybody that this government like the P&M. The P&M took away laptops. This government bring it back. The P&M introduced property tax. This government take it back. Want to talk? Well, let me talk. When it comes to the children, when the children life fund, the P&M didn't contribute or was not contributing to it. People had also go back and organize and hold barbecue, curricue, manicure, tattoo and all. Yeah. This government implemented, put it in place that children that need life-saving surgeries will get it. Am I lying? Those of you that are listening to us in your maxis, in your taxis, all PH drivers, truckers, white vans, am I lying? And it have a lot more. Oh, some people bawling about the rentals tax and saying that come like a property tax. That's not truth. If you are a resident, if your house not renting, not doing commercial on a normal basis, you don't have to pay no tax. No tax on a normal basis. But so long as your house, you turn your house into a commercial and you renting part of your house or renting your whole house, you have to pay the property tax. No, not the property tax, but the rental tax. Based on how much rent you get in a year, I think they say 20,000 or so, 2.5. also of your total rental value. So come on, it have some little things that only will get more clarity to it. When yes, yours truly the Pitbull, yours truly Lennox Smith, the ground report, when we started bringing representatives from the various ministries to bring clarification to you, the people, when it comes to information that is lacking based on mainstream media, and the fight towards this present government. Hence the reason why I'm happy to be back on mainstream media. Not to be no propaganda for the UNC, because if the UNC are nonsense, the Pitbull, the ground report will say the UNC are nonsense. If they're wrong, the Pitbull, the ground report, we will say the UNC wrong. Because it's taxpayers' money. And this is a state enterprise. And with state enterprise, the ground report is representing everyone. Whether you are UNC, whether you are PNM, whether you are ILP, whatever political party you support, we give you honest voices and representation will be given to all of you. Because it's state money. Because this is a state institution. Talk City. And next week, Monday, please God, TV4. We want the proper information come out there. The right information. The truth. And we're going to do that. So if you all understand what the Pitbull take on this whole race and the fines when it comes to the driving public, with the government having to go back on their word. But in my book, the word was to really move the demerit points. The only other thing is that the government, the Honorable Prime Minister back then mentioned about the ticket, the fines too high. But she moved the demerit points and she left it. She left the fines where it was. You all never give them, the driving public of Trinidad and Tobago, never give them the opportunity to be able now to even look to reducing the fines. Because first we are a lawless dump in Trinidad and Tobago. As the demerit points move, all drivers going haywire. Most drivers going haywire. You know, if all was obeying the law and the percentage rates didn't go up on reckless driving, drinking and driving and all those various things. You know, all now, the press conference by the government of Trinidad and Tobago might have been, we will be deducting, we will be cutting down on some of the fines too high. But no, so here it is. They will give me the hint when we go in for the break. But I want you all to get in now. Whether you agree with the Pitbull, whether you disagree with the Pitbull, it is what it is. We are lawless dump. The removal of the merit point system activated. More lawless driving, recklessness. And the government had was to do something to curb it. And to curb it, what did it do? They raise the fines, but you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry because it's fines, it's not tax. Tax is something you have to pay mandatory. You don't have not one ticket to pay if you just obey the law. Imagine we in Trinidad and Tobago debating obedience to the law versus fines, you know. That's why it has been debated, you know. Now, so you understand what I'm saying? We debating obeying the law and fines, you know, and fighting for fines compared to obeying the law. If you obey the law, you don't have no fine to pay. Why did the big debate? what the debate is about. Obey the law, no fines to pay. Break the law, you feel it in your pocket. And when you get that first feeling, you ain't gonna want to break the law again. Digest how it is. Before I take a call, Lennox Smith, again, you understand when I point down to them that what it is we are fighting?
Yes, my friend. I think the clarity is pellucid. I think even the littlest child, maybe in fifth standard, fourth standard, would understand with a high degree of comprehension what you have said. I think the creme de la creme of the integrity of the Prime Minister and the government resides in the fact that they honored the 10% to public servants. That's a huge commitment because it means that financial or the fiscal situation in the country has to take a hit as a consequence. And that was done at the time and at the place and in time for what was agreed upon.
Simple.
So I have difficulty in people using that, as I said, as a framing scenario to question the integrity of the government because or the Prime Minister, because she said that when in fact there are justifiable reasons because of an intervening factor which you adequately, of course, address. No need for me to regurgitate.
Nice.
But the fact of the matter is that is what transpired. And indeed,
hold 1 minute.
As you rightly said,
yeah.
all properties, all owners of properties
Let Lennox finish.
do not have their property renting out. It's only those who have. But property tax under the last administration is fatalistic.
What's for everybody?
Everybody had to pay, regardless what you have property. So, chalk and cheese.
Nice.
And of course, the rationality. I think, as far as people are concerned, and using that square peg in round hole scenario to make it for justification, I think we must dispense and dispel that. Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Andy, Mikey, Lennox, Orlando here.
Good morning.
Andy, good morning. Andy, same to you, Lennox. Andy, when it comes to the rental taxes, I don't mind paying it because pretty soon I'll be renting out my cheap properties, cheap apartments. So I have a problem. Andy, when it comes to driving, I over 5+ years, I don't know how long, I have never get a speeding ticket, a parking ticket, no kind of ticket in America. And I never pay no fine. The problem is, I have it. Is when we do all this good driving and mind part, we don't get back nothing from the insurance. And that's my problem. I think they should give me a award because I have never had a ticket in over 5 years or nothing. I don't speed and I follow the law. So the same thing in Trinidad. People need to follow the rules, follow the law, and they will have to pay nothing.
Thank you very much, oh boy, because just remember it's rack up time and we can't lapse because master control snipes will take it, so they don't get tired. I seen workers' rights platform, and I don't give a hell about workers' rights platform. So long as you don't be disrespectful, because remember we live and people seen we. So don't write nothing disgusting or disrespectful. Right? You say, shame on Andy because he knows better. Yeah, I know better not to break the law workers' rights platform. So you could shame on me how much you want.
On occasion, I think I betrayed something. I don't know. Something that is amorphous, inexplicable, cannot be explained as yet. I'm still waiting to see what I have betrayed.
Nice.
By this. But go ahead.
Nice. Down to workers' right platform again, he come. And I do business. Songs I get it right. You could be a fanatic for the opposition or fanatic for law-breaking drivers. You workers' right platform, you could be a fanatic for all of them. But when it coming to the law and order, when it coming to dissemination of proper information, I have to do it. You hear him now. Andy is singing for his supper. He is singing for no supper. Look, right now I don't eat.
And again, as we had concluded last time, and I did it already this morning, I'll do it again, that is a construct of the PNM propaganda machinery. And they have fallen victim to it. So the only people that benefit from that by that, what I consider be square peg and round hole argument, is the PNM. So therefore, whether advertently, whether by design, whether inadvertently, the fact of the matter is that that is nonsensical. It is ocious. It is irrelevant. If you didn't commit, then it means therefore you have no fine to pay.
Simple. Let me just take a next call. You have to make it short and sweet before snipers. A man will snipe you very fast. Short and sweet caller, go ahead.
I see you smiling here when you say that.
Morning, Barpo.
Go ahead, Barpo.
Gentlemen, if ever a statement was made where somebody say one thing and then they come and they do another thing and it is justified, you see the statement where they're talking about the Prime Minister said that how she would the fines were too high and then she increased it. Let me tell you something. The last couple of days, I drive on the roads, on the highways and things, and it's a total different feeling, a total different safety feeling on the roads. That you have seen man on your bumper, people are blowing horn. It have a vehicle that I see on the highway that didn't have a...
Yeah. I am on the road and all. And I and all realize I driving and I catching myself like I thinking towards the 100. And all I have in my mind is 4,500. Andy, 4,500. Man, I stand under the 100.
Let me tell you something. Before this law was put into place, I used to show my wife, I say, watch every 2 vehicle out of 5, it have a light working, something working. You know, every vehicle light up like Christmas tree going on the highway. Not a man ever have a light with dim self in the vehicle now. I tell you, all the traffic flowing.
I know you have your eyes on the clock.
Yeah, all the traffic flowing constantly. People going where they want to reach, they're reaching safely. No bacchanal on the road and all kind of thing. So you see that just goes to show that we have to be abused, beaten to do the right thing for ourselves. And you see the fine where they're talking about it, the 112 people who lose their lives on the highway and on the roads because of some idiot who didn't have a good working vehicle or drinking and driving. Let us go and tell them and ask them what fines they'd have to pay for losing their loved one.
Thank you very much. I want to make sure it's on the button. All we can't stick. Some all you know, all go be on the low cussing Andy, sending message. Andy, I ain't got to finish talk. But yet still all the cut me off. I not on that. Some of you are saying ban workers' rights up from on the screen. No, we don't do that. While he committing nonsense, we're not dictators and it's a democracy. So long as he's not breaking the rules based on typing costing, because remember we'll be live on TV, typing out any kind of costing and all them kind of bacchanal. No, he's to stay there. He's to stay there to continue talking is nonsense. Because in doing that, all will be getting them current.
It will be hypocritical of us as well, because I mean we are asking people to obey the traffic code and don't get caught up. And here it is. They want us to break it. So we will not. We will stick to the time and we have to leave just as that.
Exactly. The Snipes go give me the signal. So what I'm going to do is what? Take our next call quick by the time? Or for matter of fact, we start to wrap up now. Take our next one?
You can take one more.
Take one more. Oh boy. Only give away, boy. You only hear that. Director Snipes don't say one more. So what I'll do is I'll take a short voice note. Oh boy.
Andy Williams, good morning to you on the Ground Report team and all the listeners of the Ground Report.
All right, now we'll take one more short one.
Oh, good morning to the Magnificent 3 again. Well, I know who calls Lennox, who does not understand me. I'm very disappointed. Well, brother man, I'm very disappointed still in you because like you're talking with sense at all. Just because it have a fine. So you saying that people have to continue breaking the law then, and you must have a small fine so that when they break the law, they will just pay and just continue to break the law. Tell your daughter that if she windshield MD, right, she will have to get annual windshield when the time come because that it is because you don't know what could happen with you as you say go down in a pothole. A pothole could damage that windshield with a little crack in it. It doesn't.
Thank you very much. I want to make sure we're on time. But hey, what a Philip Pitbull and the Ground Report the ground report said, well, they feel we're not going to pressure the government to. All they want our vehicles roadworthy. But we also want, and people they say, Andy Williams wouldn't tell the government what time it is. Look, I'm going to tell the government what the time it is. We want the road car worthy too. To the UNC government, to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. We want our roads in Trinidad and Tobago car worthy too. Whereas I will be encouraging the people to sue the government. So fix the roads too. Fix the roads. Fix the roads. Fix the roads. Die biasness, let me hear. Workers right, die biasness. Let's me die biasness. Look at telling the UNC government, we want the roads.
Be pragmatic.
Eh?
All right, yeah, we have to go. We have to go. People, of course, be safe on the Nations Road. The life you save may well be your own. Until we see each other tomorrow morning, we have come to the end of today's program. Andy, quickly.
Trinidad and Tobago again. After God family comes first, be safe on the nation roads. Tomorrow, please God, all will get it even better, right? All will get it better. So don't forget to lock on to Talk City 91.1 FM from 6 to 9 a.m. for the Gong Report program. Until tomorrow morning, please God, we are out of here. Snipes, take it away.
Get ready to immerse yourself in the vibrant rhythms and the joyous spirit of sweet calypso. Join us for an unforgettable experience at the semi-final round of the Calypso Monarch competition. This is Calypso Fiesta. 40 Calypso stars will compete on the Skinner Park stage. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmonies. Mark your calendars. Saturday, February 7th, 2026. Join us at Skinner Park in San Fernando for an afternoon of pure Calypso magic. Showtime 2 p.m. Tickets available on islandetickets.com or call us at 623-9660. Don't miss out on a chance to experience the rhythm and joy of the Caribbean in 2026. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmony. This is Calypso Fiesta.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
This is about creating opportunity through responsible management and citizen participation in national wealth. We are targeting US $3 billion in new investment within the next few years in energy, in construction, in tourism, and the digital economy.
Music.
It's reconstruction time in Trinidad, so put your shoulder to the women and stop. For big and for small, there's no time at all. There's no other way. Your patriotic.
The budget has goodies and some not so goodies, but that is because fairness requires that everyone plays their part.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM. On November 9th, 2006, Talk City 91.1 FM launched on the airwaves of TNT. In 2025, we celebrate 19 years of talk, culture, sports, news, education, and information. Join us and journey down memory lane with our brand new podcast feature. Search Talk City 91.1 FM on YouTube and check out some of our features, interviews, and even full shows. Enjoy at your own pace, on your own time. Enjoy again and again as we celebrate 19 years of talk on Talk City 91.1 FM. Request your favorite song. 622-4911.
Check this. Big business don't start to freak, yeah. It's 2005. Yes, because it's day as doctors the year. No more restriction, open competition. But it just won't make the grade. We don't stand for lobby. The capital, the free trade. See ya.